Okay. All right. Hello. Oh, I guess I'm the only one here. Uh, okay. Hello. 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 Okay, stop it. Stop it. No. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can. I
Okay,
think
good.
it's just you and me, and Pamela is joining now.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was trying to print out information for today's meeting, and the copier did not want to cooperate with me.
What's new?
I noticed that you sent out some emails, but I haven't been home all morning, so I haven't gotten to all of them.
But I think that's okay. They were sent to me this morning, so
Okay.
so no one's had an opportunity to really review them. There was an email from Counselor Steinberg with information for Thursday's meeting. I know, I have no idea what happened.
Well,
Because-
good luck with that.
Yeah, and then the other was a letter that came in from a community member, and it comes in addressed to me because none of your emails are public, so it just comes to me as the DAC liaison.
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I have to, I thought it was strange that the meeting, the Tuesday date was not on the doodle poll. And I'm like, what? When they scheduled it, and then they put it back to Thursday.
Exactly, and so I saw that Myra had sent an email yesterday to Counselor Steinberg, and I emailed her. I was traveling yesterday, that I would check in with Athena this morning. And Athena said that a correction was issued, but I don't recall giving a correction. And I had given Athena all of your emails last week because I knew that I was going to be traveling and out of the office part of Friday and all of yesterday. So I'm not quite sure what happened with that.
So
Okay,
what is the final decision? Is the TSO meeting tonight or on Thursday night?
It's supposed to be Thursday night. Athena has not posted the meeting yet. So I think Counselor Steinberg was just a little bit confused in his messaging because it said tomorrow's.
Oh yeah, that confused me.
Right, and it's not tomorrow, it's Thursday. And when I spoke with Athena, she said that she will send the Zoom invite to you directly because I had provided that information because she's the person who's posting the meeting for the joint boards.
So it's not in person anymore, it's Zoom.
You can come in person, it's hybrid, so some people may be in
Yeah.
and others are able to join by Zoom.
If I can make it, I won't be able to do the whole thing because I have another meeting now scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no meeting tonight.
There is no meeting tonight.
Okay.
I am gonna just check, let me see. Yeah.
All right.
Cody did tell me that he would not be able to join today. He's feeling under the weather.
Hmm.
Oh, yep. Counselor DeAngelis, go ahead.
Just Pat is fine. I'm still recovering from knee replacement surgery, and
Oh,
this is one of the first meetings
Oh.
I've been trying to attend. I will quietly bow out if I start shaking, which means I
Oh.
sat for too long, but I'm doing fine. But so if I
Oh.
disappear, it will not because I'm not interested.
Understood. Yeah.
Thank you.
happy recovery.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's painful more than I thought.
Yeah, I know. I think the recovery and keeping up with the exercises and everything, that's the most difficult part. I hear, so.
Yeah, thank you. It is. And
Yeah.
the other piece is that I'm trying to wean myself off the pain medication because
Mm.
it's really affected my brain a lot.
Of course.
So
Of course.
that doesn't help in a certain kind of way, but it's going to be a good thing.
Well, what can you do, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So, we're missing, well, we don't have a quorum now.
Is Myra coming?
I have not heard from her. I assume that she would be here, and I just checked my email to see if she was having trouble getting in, but there's no email from her. Oh, wait a minute. Now there's an email that says she's trying to get in.
Mm. Okay.
So let me. Yeah. See, she might. No. So she's definitely trying to get in. I have and I haven't heard from James or Jim either. So.
Oh, well. So, Pamela, when do we become a commission?
We're still waiting for action from Paul.
Yeah, I'd like to know when that's going to happen. I need to know.
Yeah, the next step is for him to send the charge to town council for approval. So we're, you know, we've done everything that we can do. Oh, so Myra's here.
Myra is here.
But maybe muted.
Yeah, she's muted right now.
Yeah. Yep, there she is.
Now I'm unmuted.
Yes. Mhm.
It's always such a
You unmuted.
travail.
Press Alt plus A to unmute your microphone.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Alerts disabled.
It's always a travail to get into these meetings.
And I was here early this time, so you would be able to.
No, it's not your fault. I don't know. I got an email from Elise. She can't go Thursday night. I'm
Yes.
not going to be in town Thursday night. Because that's not what we were told.
No.
And I can't tell you, my fury at the moment has no bounds.
Ditto. I rearranged transportation to have my ride meet me at town hall tonight instead of my building. You know, I have something else going on Thursday. Can they do it in January?
I think we're going to have to insist that they reschedule it. So can you give us the history of how we found out it was the 10th?
Okay, let me read the
Oh, we're starting. Okay, but that doesn't. All right. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
so we can formally
Yeah,
start
that's
the
fine.
meeting.
That's fine.
So pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. And by my computer, it is 11:36, so we are opening the meeting.
I don't know that.
Okay, computer stop. All right, so we, do we have more than 3 people?
We do indeed now. We have Elise, Sharon, Ian, and yourself.
Okay, so there are 4 of us, and you just said who's here, so, okay, so this is very odd. We were not supposed to have much of a meeting today because we were supposed to have a big meeting tonight. And we were supposed to talk about the meeting tonight at the meeting today. Turns out, as of whatever time that was, we have no meeting tonight. The meeting was always scheduled for Thursday, although somehow Pamela was not told that, and we were not told that.
That's right. And I checked on it because Martha brought it to my attention. She
You
said,
did
which
check
day
on it.
is that? And
You
then,
did check on it.
yeah. So what time do they have it scheduled for Thursday?
5 o'clock?
Yeah,
Is
so
it?
I think the meeting is scheduled for the same time. And when I checked in this morning with Athena, it had not been posted yet. She was in another meeting. So I had a death in my family last week, and before I
Oh.
left,
Oh,
Very
So sorry.
thank you. I sent Athena a list of all of your, all of the members of the DAC, as well as your emails, and double checked that she would be sending you the Zoom invite for the meeting. And I communicated all of that information with you. So I'm not quite certain where the mix-up occurred. I don't recall receiving any notice that it was not going to be Tuesday, and all of the information that we received, that initial email said Tuesday evening.
Do you have those emails?
I do have those emails somewhere.
Can you forward those emails to Andy Steinberg?
Yes, I can.
Because I wrote to him already and I told him that we were misinformed about the date, that I'm not available Thursday. At the time, I had not received Elisa's unavailability. This is just yet another in a long string of things that seem to minimize the importance of this committee. Whether intentional or not, they sure look like it. One of the other agenda items that has to do with the thing you weren't told about, that the town, that with the curb cuts. I mean, it's yet
Yeah.
another.
I'm done.
I'm not done. I'm fighting. I cannot, I don't think we should tolerate this.
No.
And I think we should not agree to have this meeting if a majority of us can't be present.
So I will, according to Athena, a correction was sent, but I do not recall getting a correction. Myra, do you recall receiving?
I never got anything that said the 12th.
Right.
I didn't either.
Me either.
So, and I think the correction would have been sent to me and to Myra, because typically that's how they've been communicating with the group.
I have no email from Athena.
Yeah. Are from Counselor Steinberg?
No.
Say date was corrected to the 12th. Yeah.
No.
It's definitely news to me. So I will go back through those emails.
And if you can send them all to Andy, that would be really helpful. And Athena, because you can't just make, oh yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, nobody has anything else to do. You told us a month ago that the meeting was Tuesday. So we planned our lives around Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I will say I will do my best. I, of course, cannot guarantee that they will.
No, I already wrote to him and asked him to change the date.
Yeah.
But I'm just flummoxed. Anyway, what we have to discuss is the proposal that is there. Andy just sent me the materials. And in the letter from the one that we got from Anderson,
Yes.
there is a comparison between his proposal and the apparently the town proposal or the designer proposal. It's not clear to me what he has his, and then he has a contrasting one, which I assume is the one that he's seen that has the proposal in it. Is that
So
correct?
may I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
We had at one point, we had talked about having members of the DAC do some homework and reviewing some of the websites and inviting Sam back. She's here, but she could only stay for 30 minutes. Should we maybe table that discussion to another
Oh,
month?
I didn't even realize we were going to do that today because I thought we were going to have a short meeting. It wouldn't make everybody have to meet for 3 hours today.
Yeah.
Because we were all supposed to meet for 3 hours and I was trying to make life easier. And so I just planned not to discuss anything that had to do with the website because I didn't think we should be asking this committee to meet for 3 hours in one day. That's why I didn't.
No, I think that was an oversight on my part last week that I did not inform her, but I'm just asking since I think that
Okay.
we're not really prepared, so we can release her and she can.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sam.
No.
Yeah, we did agree to come back this month, but then that other meeting intervened, which turns out not to be a meeting.
It's
Um,
totally okay. I understand things come up and I'll be available for future meetings. So
So why don't we
Okay.
do it? We have a January 14th meeting. Why don't we do it then?
perfect.
So
Good.
sorry. Happy holidays.
It's okay. Thank you. You all too.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, and I
Right.
apologize as well.
It's
Sorry.
okay. Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for telling me she was there. I feel like I don't even know. I've lost control here. I'm just so angry. So we need to talk about these two proposals, or about the one that I can forward the email from Andy Steinberg that I got at 11 o'clock to you, and I think it has attachments, which I haven't even had time to open them. Should I forward them?
I did share that already with the committee.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah, she did.
Anderson's thing?
Okay, no, it's from Andy
That one's
Steinberg.
different. And Counselor DeAndrews has her hand up.
Okay,
Yeah, I just want to
go
make.
for it, Pat. Get us out of this because
I
there
wish
is
I
like-
could. I want to tell you that George Ryan, who's on TSO, had come, he was taking me to a physical therapy appointment and he brought me Jeremy Anderson's plan, which I looked at briefly, and I think it's an excellent plan. And what I see in it is it not only did it really think about traffic and safety, et cetera, but he talks about the need for curb cuts and sidewalks and things that are handicapped accessible. He's really addressing all of the issues that we,
not quite, but go on.
well, okay.
There's like a glaring absence there.
Okay, well,
Anyway.
I'm missing it too then. But
Okay,
it does seem to me that it was a lot more thoughtful across the board than anything that we've gotten from the town.
agreed.
And I think that, and I know that George really likes it. And I think that there can be a lot of support for it. So I would love to hear what I missed, Myra. And
Well,
I'm not surprised I missed it because
I think it's really essentially quite good. What he doesn't refer to, and what the town guy doesn't refer to, is pedestrian safety is not the same as bicycle safety.
Yeah.
Quite frequently, it is bicycles that cause a lot of pedestrian pain.
Bingo.
And it is particularly an issue for low vision and blind people
Absolutely.
who cannot see bikes coming and
Or hear
cannot
them.
hear them coming. And there needs to be a distinct difference between the bike lane and the sidewalk, because the bike lane and the sidewalk there are people who cannot have the danger that they're going to be hit by bicyclists that they can't even detect. And quite frequently, bicyclists do not obey traffic rules. And quite frequently now I don't know anything about what they're going to do with the buses that go on there, but there are, right? There's a bus that goes down Main Street and turns right on Southeast Street and then turns left to go east on Route 9. That's how it does it. And that bus, where's the bus stop? And is the bus stop going to be on an island in the middle of the road? Or is the bus stop going to be up against the curb? The island in the middle of the road is called a floating bus stop, which is among the most dangerous things for blind and visually impaired people. There is no mention of what the bus stop situation is going to be. So I would say that basically he has it right. Basically the guy who did it for the town should not even be reused because he just made no sensitivity to anything except cars. But there needs to be, this is not an accessible plan unless those issues about separating bike and walking lanes are clearly established and unless there is no floating bus stop. The other thing that there isn't is there doesn't seem to be any activated pedestrian signals in Dr. Anderson's plan either, right? It just has raised crosswalks, but it doesn't have anything about any kind of pedestrian signals, rapid flashing beacon, none of that is there. So he didn't do it all. He did a lot of it. And I don't know that what I'm talking about can't be imposed on what he did, but it's not there.
Myra,
Thank you, Myra.
You-
Thank you,
you-
Myra. You good,
yeah,
well
you
put.
taught me a lot very quickly. Thank you.
Okay. So I don't know, and I'd love to have some contact with him to see if he can figure out. I mean, did he send a picture of his plan or is it just in words?
No, there's a picture.
There's,
And I
So
think
where's the bike? Where's the bus situate? Where's the bus stop?
I don't have it in front of me and I don't know if there was a bus stop.
I don't think there was either.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's in the material that Pamela sent this morning, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me, with your permission, Dr. Anderson has raised his hand.
Oh, he's here.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. First, oh, shoot, I gotta mute for a second, but I'll be back. I'm really glad you're here because this plan is essentially very good.
Right, so Dr. Anderson, I'm promoting you to a panelist, so you'll be able to join the conversation.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for letting me kind of join and my apologies. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. And first off, I really, really deeply appreciate the criticisms, constructive comments. You know, my hope with this was not to, I mean, I'm not a traffic engineer. I didn't want to make something that was like, I'm not a competing engineering firm. I want you to buy my plan. I just, when I saw the discussions around the Fort River intersection, I just got really worried that it was going to just be about speed of traffic. And there's so much momentum that I feel like that from the students that want safe access to the school. And I just wanted to provide some type of an idea, you know, some ideas that might start a conversation in that regard. So Myra, all of your critiques, I really, really appreciate.
Well, first of all, I didn't know you were there. And second of all, you have to excuse me for my fury, and it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with this evening's meeting that we were told, this three-way meeting, we were told is tonight, and it turns out it isn't. And we don't even know if we can attend it now. So that's where I am right now with my
Please,
I'm
just grateful that you guys are reviewing this and thinking about it for the safety of the kids, for the safety of folks with disabilities, just for our whole community. I was a fellow this summer as part of the America Walks the walking college, and this was my class assignment as part of that project. And so my goals, I was trying to think about from like from the DPW standpoint, from and trying to reduce congestion, but also how could we get dedicated bike lanes to get bicyclists off of sidewalks so that the kids could bike to school safely, but not be causing accidents like you were just mentioning with people who are on the sidewalks. I included roundabouts just because I thought that's something that DPW would probably be including as well. But I definitely I'm not enamored with them. And if there's other options, my whole goal, and I can kind of like step back from this and let you continue your conversation, was just to provide some alternative ideas that you and others could discuss and hopefully just make a safer outcome for everyone.
That's fabulous. I really do appreciate the way you thought about this, because it does take a tremendous amount into consideration. I'm interested in this walking, what was it? America Walks. Do they ever include American Walks with guide dogs, or America Walks with canes, or America Walks with other devices that make it difficult to scoot across the street quickly?
Yeah. No, the America Walks, the name itself is unfortunately it doesn't describe the total package, and I would say of the other groups as part of the fellowship program, um, the mine was the only one that was not directly focused on folks with disabilities, and so my apologies. This is new for me, but the other groups were town employees, City of Rochester, New York, for example, trying to make their city more accessible for those
They've
with
actually
disabilities.
done a pretty good job in some of the places I've been in there.
Yeah.
I happen to know a little about that city, and I've been there relatively recently, and they have made some changes that are quite good. There's some very busy streets that are crossable, which is amazing. And Amherst has failed mightily in this area predominantly. But I like your ideas that, I mean, your idea essentially is that we cannot think of this as a traffic control situation. I mean, that's what they think of it as. It's a traffic control problem to be solved with roundabouts, which is the traffic control device du jour. Who knows what it'll be in 3 years? But right now, it's all about roundabouts, and they do not enhance pedestrian safety. They, to some extent, might enhance bicycle safety to some extent, but not entirely, unless the bicyclists have a really easy way to get around without having to stop and get back, you know what I mean, and cross over the cars to get to the other side. Does that make sense?
Oh, completely.
So there need to be places where people can cross safely, and they need to be able to activate some kind of a pedestrian signal that will make it possible for them to be safe. I mean, people will run a red light, they'll do whatever they do, but safer.
Myra, Saren has her hand raised.
Go for it, Saren.
Okay, so my neighbor, Martha, unfortunately, she cannot attend this meeting. She's leaving to visit her sister on the West Coast. But we talked about the need for a roundabout at the corner of Southeast Street and Route 9. You know, whether it is necessary or not. We looked at it. It is very functional right now. So we don't really expect it with 2 lanes and signals for a left turn, and maybe it could be revised just a little bit, but we don't think there is a need for the roundabout there, although the town very much is kind of committed to roundabouts. And we looked at it also, the town is how they're short of money and they're trying to save money. And why not just modify that intersection, visiting the traffic light there rather than just replacing it with a roundabout, which also is not very friendly for pedestrians or disabled people.
May
So
I say
that's
something
what
in
I-
support of?
Go for it,
May I
Jim.
say
I'm
something?
sorry. Yeah, we can't hear you. So go ahead.
Yeah, I want to support Soren's comment. That intersection is actually fairly heavily trafficked by pedestrians. A lot of folks from Colonial Village use those crosswalks, and there are mothers with babies in strollers. There's families with little kids tagging along. There's folks who are carrying whether it's stuff from the liquor store or laundry or whatever. It's a good intersection. I get that at 4 o'clock or 5, whenever the UMass traffic comes, and so all the UMass cars are hot to get on Belchertown Road and everything else, there can be a backup. But otherwise, I've noticed that traffic flows pretty smoothly there. And a roundabout there would really create significant hazards to the Colonial Village population, I think.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe I also like the plan of Dr. Anderson very much, but maybe it could be modified, another version with the things that Myra brought up about the safety of visually impaired, and also maybe look at it with another, remove the roundabout and leave it as is with some modifications, of course.
Dr. Anderson has his hand raised.
Please go ahead.
I have to go to work, but I really love these ideas, and I'd be more than happy to try to any suggestions that you have. I'll try to incorporate them into an updated plan. I'll try to remove the roundabouts, for example, and just provide that for you. And again, my hope is that this just starts the conversation that you're having, and I'm just really grateful for your time.
Well, we are much more than a little grateful to you, I have to say, for even doing this. I can't even express the level of gratitude that we should feel toward you for taking the time to do this. And you are right. And so the question is, when this meeting does happen between these three committees, I hope that you and anyone you know would be happy to speak against the use of roundabouts to solve every traffic situation and every situation, because it's getting out of control. And that's what they want to do here. They just want to make it a roundabout thing so cars can get through. And it's just so not important to do that. Jim said it right.
Yeah.
We need so many people to say that, because I suspect the Transportation Committee will say similar things. But, they hired this consultant, they paid a lot of money, and they have, DPW on their side. And I think we need to be incredibly forceful. So that's what I would ask of you is to, whenever this meeting does happen, to be really forceful and to get other people involved to support you.
Well, we've got a group of parents from Fort River and Wildwood that are getting involved, and hopefully we'll just keep the conversation going. And
Fabulous.
Very
thank
nice.
you,
you
thank
so
you all
much.
so much.
Thank you for coming to the meeting.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Did we get any email from Andy or Athena in the interim?
I will take a look.
Jim, are you available for a meeting on Thursday?
Who are you asking, Jim?
Jim, yeah.
I guess I could be, but it doesn't make sense for me to be the only person there. That's for sure.
No, I have to talk to David. We are not supposed to be in town, we have a plan with other people, but Elise cannot be there. And she needs to be there.
I need to be there, and also, I mean, the thing is, it would be a huge hassle for me to go. I could rearrange my Thursday and go, but I'm pissed off.
That's where it's the New Yorker in us, Elise.
I'm really pissed off about it. You know, I made special arrangements so that, and I want to go in person. I cannot, I just can't handle all the Zoom.
No, and I agree. I was going to go in person. We are not going to be in town. We have to change some plans if we can. It is possible that we could rearrange. If Elise can do it, then I think I can probably do it. But I do think we need to be there because I don't think they really care what we think.
No. And I think, you know, if we're talking about, you know, pedestrian safety and people with disability, yeah, I think I need to be there also, because this roundabout thing is ridiculous. And yeah. And the fact is, you know, Myra, you brought it up so well, because I feel like you and I and other blind and vision impaired people become invisible sometimes.
Oh yeah,
We
we're
don't
always
get
invisible.
We're invisible, and I'm tired of that.
Yep.
You know, and I'm going to try to rearrange my Thursday.
Well, I mean,
can.
you know, don't get so upset. It's not you being invisible. It is sometimes me being disabled with with my wheelchair use for ages. Sometimes I overlook what your needs might be too, because we're not familiar. So it's just bringing it up to the
we overlook your
attention.
needs too. We don't mean to.
Huh?
Yeah,
May I
but
interrupt?
it's also
May I
okay.
interrupt just for a second? I'm sorry. Councilor DeAngelis has her hand up, and she had said that she might have to leave us, so.
Okay, go for it, Pat.
Okay.
I'm going to leave in a second, but what I wondered is if I'm going to personally send a email to Andy and George about this, and just separate from you, say how upset I am about you not being notified. But what I'm thinking before I leave is there a date or dates that you know that the majority of this committee could make, that Pamela, and I wouldn't do this, that Pamela could put in an email, so when we say this meeting needs to be canceled for Thursday, and here are alternative dates that DACA can make. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good suggestion. Yeah.
Now, Pat, do you know if there are any time constraints that made it have to be December instead of January or anything like that?
Not that I know of, but I've been so out of it. I doubt very much. I don't see why this couldn't move into January. But I don't know.
Hopefully your knee is okay.
Oh yeah, it's just hard to recover from. Right now, Pamela does not want me to speak to Aaron.
Right, I do not.
Does not want you to speak to
her
Aaron
husband.
is my partner, and he also needs to have knee surgery. But he has
He's reluctant.
right, very reluctant.
Yeah.
So I just checked the website. The meeting has not been posted yet. There's no new correspondence, but I did check my older correspondence, and it does look like there was a corrected email that came to me on Saturday, the 23rd of November.
Oh, wow.
With a date.
Okay.
So this may have been my error.
Did it go to anybody else or just to you?
It went to Tracy and to Athena and to myself.
Mm.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, I mean,
what I don't understand though is that in my email last week to you all and with Athena, I mean
she didn't correct it.
Right, we didn't correct it. We didn't catch it.
Well, when Sarah wrote,
yeah,
I assumed you checked it with Athena and she didn't.
Right, yeah.
Didn't say you were wrong. Anyway, so we need to come up with Elise and
Yeah,
the question is, can we do Thursday? I can't let you know right now.
I will if I have to.
Okay.
If I really have to. I had something else going on, but
I feel
maybe I can
exactly
get out
the
of it.
same way.
I
What about,
can do it.
you cannot,
I,
this
I
Thursday-
can. I can.
was that a can?
Yes.
Okay, and what about Jim? He said already he could. Ian,
I
how about
could,
you?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so if,
I had it scheduled for today. I don't think I have anything. I'll have to look at my calendar again for Thursday. I think I might be able to.
okay. Well, we need everybody.
Right.
So, I mean, if we can do it, I mean, Elise and I have to change plans that we made with other people. So hopefully, Elise, do you think you could know by like 3 o'clock this afternoon whether you could do that?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
and
think I can.
I probably can too. I just have to reschedule some being out of town and it's not going to be too easy, but I mean, if we have no choice, I mean, next week is like the 19th. What about the 19th for people?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, what about January 9th?
What day of the
Oh,
week is
January
that?
2nd or January 9th? Thursdays. They meet on Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, I think I'm okay for that.
January
I
2.
much prefer January, frankly.
I
What
have a
about-
meeting January 2, but I could do January 9th.
You could do
Yeah.
January 9. What about Sarah and Jim?
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I can do it too.
Okay, so if we cannot do it this Thursday, the 12th, we need to wait. Well, because there's Christmas and New Year's in the middle, we don't have too many choices. We would have
No.
to wait until January 9. I will know by 3 o'clock this afternoon whether I can change the plan. And okay, so
Quickly,
Dr.
I'm just
Anderson,
gonna say, I'm going to leave, but I won't be sending the email to Andy and George because it sounds like it was our error as a group. So not intentionally
Yeah.
on anybody's part.
yeah,
Right.
okay.
I will see you at
good.
whenever this meeting occurs. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you think you're going to go to it?
I'm going to try.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
All right. So now I hope if we're going to meet January 9th, I wonder if we should plan a time or I can contact Dr. Anderson and find out if he can see, he doesn't have to come up with the final design. He just has to have a sense, and there has to be some acknowledgement of the fact that separate pedestrian and bike lanes and car lanes is the goal, and that some kind of way to cross with activated signals, either at, a stoplight, a beacon, although that's not the street for a beacon, really. It's too heavily traveled. Well, maybe it isn't. See, I'm not a traffic expert, but actually Tracy is. So it would be, in a way, really good if we could have a meeting with Tracy if we're going to wait until the 9th. Otherwise, I can just contact her today. I can find out. Anyway, all right. So the other item has to
Just
do.
1 second, Myra.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are canceling the meeting scheduled for this coming Thursday.
No,
and
not yet.
Yeah.
not- Okay.
No, it's no, we'll know by this afternoon. Elise and I have to figure out if we can do it.
Right. And I'm
Okay.
just saying that I'm looking back through my through the emails, and it seemed like a lot were going back and forth around the 23rd, that Saturday and Sunday. So I'm sorry if I missed the correction, and I'm I'm hopeful that they would be open for a new meeting, but I do think that if it's at all possible for people to be able to make Thursday, that should be the plan.
Well, it might be that if we want our voice to be heard, we
Right.
have to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I have a choice. I'm
Right.
gonna try.
Where
what I'm
is
thinking.
where is the physical meeting place?
It didn't even say.
Yeah, it hasn't, so I'm assuming it will be in town hall, but it hasn't been posted yet, so I don't know.
In
No.
what room?
Could they
Yeah.
could they please take into consideration people with mobility impairments who needs accessible place to meet,
Right.
wherever that is?
Well, I mean, I wrote to Andy way back and I said, he said it'll be a in-person meeting. And I basically said, not so fast. People have to be able to get there.
Yeah.
So that's when they came up with the hybrid. And I decided that I would go in person, but everybody doesn't have to, not everybody can. So
Yeah.
there always has to be, he said it was going to be in person and I'm like, not so fast. So that's why they came up with the hybrid. The thing that, I think if we can get there, I think it would be really good for us to get there. So do we want to make some kind of a general in principle endorsement of Dr. Anderson's suggestion, in principle endorsement with additions of, separation? I mean, we could do that. Does anybody feel like we should go on record as having? Yeah, I'm thinking we should. I'm thinking out loud, but I'm thinking we should go on record as that we believe that this is a problem which is much more than a much more than a traffic control issue, and that we can refer him to Martha's letter. We can refer him to Dr. Anderson's letter. And actually, we just got that one that Pamela just sent from the what was his name? Doug something?
Kurt
Banham. Okay. So there are 3 letters. They all have a slightly different take on it, but none of them like what the town is proposing. So can I get a motion that we make it clear that at the very least anyway, that this is that the solution has to work equally well for pedestrians, some of whom have disabilities, for bicyclists, and for traffic. Traffic being the last consideration of the 3.
This is Ian. I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there anybody who's willing to second it? I can write something up between now and Thursday that refers them to all those materials that we got, and that just makes it really clear that their proposal is seriously lacking in the human element.
I'm Elise. I'll second it.
Okay. If anybody has any ideas about what specifically I should be sure to write, and I hope you'll do this, send me something in the next couple hours that'll say, don't forget about. That doesn't have to be something that you write carefully. Doesn't have to be, it just means to be, make sure you include, okay, or make sure you refer to. And if you would do that, send them to me. I would really appreciate it, because that way I can craft something that reflects sort of what we talked about. And we don't normally have letters that go without having the committee see them. So I don't know how legally, what is the story with what I want to do, Pam? Is that good or not?
So let's first take a vote on your motion.
Yeah,
okay. You have your motion. And you
Can we go over the motion once again, please?
Well, the motion is that we inform them that this is a much more complex problem, that a complex problem that involves pedestrians, some of whom are disabled, cyclists, children and adults, and vehicles. And that the solution that they come up with has to work for all of those constituent groups, not just for cars.
Hmm.
Does that make any sense? Maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, what I would like to say is
Content left panel.
we like Dr. Anderson's plan. However, we think it needs some modifications. We don't, the people with visual impairment, it would stop what you just said about, the danger of bicyclists and people with visual impairments having they'll endanger their safety. To address that issue, as well as question the necessity of a roundabout at the southeast Route 9 corner, because it's working very well, and that kind of a thing. I mean, I'll give some rather than criticize them because they are ignoring the pedestrians and the bicyclists and the people with disabilities. More constructive thing on toward the plan. That's what I was thinking.
No,
but,
you're right. You're right. What about
Yeah.
the other corner? Nobody talked about that.
What?
What about the other light on the other corner?
Yeah, nobody could talk about that.
And Elise has her hand up.
Go for it.
Am I unmuted? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also, it's not just people with visual impairment and blindness, but there are people on walkers that can't get out of a bicycle, even if they can see a bicycle coming, you can't get out of their way.
And
There are other
Kane,
people who can't move quickly out of their way, out of a bicyclist way, and they just go shooting by. They don't even, they have no concept, bicyclists.
yeah, I would
Just to
add
put that in.
other mobility impaired people, including in wheelchairs, using canes, crutches, or just slowly walking without
Yeah.
Or little kids.
or kids.
Anyway, thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay, so we can just say, for example, we don't see any reason to replace the light at the corner, and that we would hope that they would come up with a similar solution. I mean, quite frankly, when you cross over there by the Main Street, Southeast Street, East Street intersection, that light works too. They just don't like it because they're gonna cause a bottleneck of traffic. And they want the roundabout to make the traffic move through. But there's a lot of people that walk through there.
Well, in Dr. Anderson's plan, it is turning it into kind of like a one-way, single lane street. Most of the that intersect. I mean, from Southeast Street to the Main Street intersection. So, in a way, roundabout might help them. Like if they're going to come, like say a car is getting out of the school and they want to come to Route 9, they cannot do that. They have to go all the way to the end of that street and turn around at the roundabout on Main Street and then come back to.
Is that what the proposal is?
That's what it looks like from what I understood from the diagram.
Well, the exit from the school is pretty close to Main Street, so it's not really like it's far. So they want them all to turn right and go around the roundabout.
Yes.
Now, the only problem is, what about people who want to cross the street there?
Well, there is I can't remember whether there's a pedestrian crossing. I think there is.
Well, there currently is. The big light.
May I say something?
Yeah.
I mean, I think our goal, if there's a meeting on Thursday, I hope there isn't, but if there is, is to ensure the creation of a collaborative process that includes the DAC to make sure that issues of safety for persons with disabilities are addressed. I mean, we can talk here about all the flaws in the plan, but if we don't participate in that process, then we're going to get stuck and we're going to end up with something that is really unacceptable. So, I mean, I think we can certainly adopt a motion here that would say something along the lines of, we have grave concerns about the current plans as presented by the town, that they do not sufficiently address the safety of pedestrians, including school children and persons with disabilities. We could say something like that. But I think the other part is we need to get to the table and be part of that discussion.
I think that's why they're having the meeting.
Mm.
And I think
I agree, but I think that it needs to be ongoing. It shouldn't be just, well, okay, we've heard what you have to say and we'll get back to you kind of thing.
okay.
Mhm.
That's just me.
No, I like it. It's great, actually. So we really want to be part of a continuing process, yeah, and that this should not be a one and done. Yeah, we heard those people and now we're going to do whatever we want,
Yeah.
which what it seems to be what we always feel like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So we have Jim, you had a good idea. Can you say that again, please? Maybe that should be the motion.
Let me see. The DAAC has grave concerns about the plan presented by the town for modifications near the Fort River School. Traffic modifications near the Fort River School. We do not believe it sufficiently addresses safety issues, especially for school children and persons with disabilities, or persons with disabilities and school children, whatever language people want to say.
Yep. Do you have that, Pamela?
I'm writing it down and I'll have the recording, so.
Yeah, sorry I called you Pam.
No, that's all right.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's the best motion. And that we want to be part of a continuing process to ensure
Yeah.
meets needs of all constituent groups. How's that?
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when you get it written, Pamela, you could read it and then we can vote and that'll be easy. I like that motion. I'll even second it. It's way better than mine, which was all over the place.
So, and this is just from my scribbled notes. So the DAAC has grave concerns around the current plans by the town for traffic modifications at the Fort River School. The plan does not address safety concerns of school children and people with disability. The DAAC would like to be a part of a continuing process to address these concerns. So that's my.
Can you make it pedestrians with disabilities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. And then, so we can have a vote. Ian,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Saren,
Yes.
Jim,
Oh, I don't know. Yes.
and Myra. That's 5 yeses. Okay. So 5 yeses. We don't need to vote no because there isn't anybody left. Okay, Pamela, can you write that and actually send it to Andy?
Yes. Mhm.
That this was our motion. And that we passed it.
Mhm.
Okay. Now the other item had to do with the curb cuts that Pamela received from the Architectural Access Board about curb cuts. I couldn't even tell where they were.
Yeah.
Did
Neither could
anyone
I.
know
Yeah.
where they
No.
were?
No.
No.
I don't know what it was about. I don't know who it was from. I know that once again, we were bypassed. And they did not wonder where the commentary from us was. So, especially because they were even informed through, God, what's his name, at the MOD. What is,
Jeff Dugan.
thank you. You're younger than me, you can remember stuff. Jeff Dugan knew very well about the big debacle about the last time we were not informed. And he even had to recuse himself from dealing with it because he was aware of what happened. So I assume that they were aware, and then again, they didn't hear from us. And so now Molly is going to write directly to Pamela and not have it go through whatever town official didn't do their job, but we need to find out which town official didn't do their job. And we need to find out what this was about that was approved without our knowledge. And it might be that it was fine, and it might be that it wasn't close to fine. So how do we find out what this is about?
So I communicated with Molly Griffin. She is the program coordinator at the Architectural Assets Board, because when I got the notice, I was like, we have no idea what this is about. And she and I exchanged emails last week. She described this as a large project, I think, like addressing both Amherst and maybe South Hadley. So I think it's probably part of a state contract. So curb cuts on the, like, probably Route 9. When she checked into the database, she said that my name was listed there as the contact for the Disability Access Advisory Committee, but you know, I guess I'll need to inquire more with her about the initial application, because it never, that never reached us. And I did go back and check to see if I had missed something. So I think going forward, she is going to just make sure that when a notice comes in, if there's a mention of Amherst, that she will independently reach out to me to make sure that we have, but that we've received it. But I think you're correct. Like, there's definitely a break in the chain of communication where things are happening and they're not being directed to the attention of this group.
So my concern about curb cuts is apparently it is not in the law that you can't have apex curb cuts. The law doesn't say which way the curb cuts have to go. The apex curb cuts. You're allowed apparently to have them according to the law, but I'm interested in what the MAAB thinks about that. If you talk to them about apex curb cuts, because they're actually not safe for blind people. They need to be straight on curb cuts. And instead of doing one per corner, there needs to be two. And it's more expensive and they won't want to do it. But that it's dangerous to have the apex curb cuts going out into Route 9. So I am interested actually in what they approved without even asking us, because it is for me a very big concern. Probably not for too many other people, but for me it is. And so I really think we need to find out what it was about. And there was a thing on that thing that said, if you want to appeal this decision, I don't know what we have to do, but we should appeal it without even knowing what it is, because otherwise we're not going to be able to have our voice heard. What can we do to appeal it?
So any person aggrieved by the above decision may request an adjudicatory hearing before the board within 30 days of receipt of this decision by filing an attached request for an adjudicatory hearing.
Okay,
So that's what we would need to do. We received notice on December 3rd, so we have
We're
a
good.
January 3rd to.
okay. So can you find out what it's about? Can you ask her to send us the application and the decision and the
Sure.
location and everything? And then
Yeah,
we can decide if we want to appeal it. And we might need to meet again before January 3rd because I can't decide by myself to appeal it.
So,
To appeal it.
Myra, she did send us on Thursday afternoon the request for the variance. And
Oh, she did?
let me see which one this is, because I asked her to send information. So,
I saw that you asked her to, but I didn't see that she actually sent any.
right, yeah, it's because the request came in from the Mass DOT Highway Division. Yeah, it's attached to an email, but I can download the PDFs and send them to everyone.
Well, can you maybe send them right now and people can, I mean, are they like 20 pages?
Well, let's see.
Because maybe we should.
One is 30 pages long.
Okay. Okay.
The other one is 28.
Yeah.
And I think that she may have sent this to us in error because in one of the documents that I'm looking at, I don't see Amherst listed. But I'd have to look at all three documents to be 100%.
Okay, can we find out, can we reserve a time between us to figure out if we need to meet even for a half an hour to decide if we want to appeal this sometime before the end of December, because if we don't, we won't be able to appeal. So next Tuesday is the 17th. Anybody free then if we need to do anything about this?
Yes.
Okay,
Checking.
Elise is checking.
Yeah, it takes me a minute with the,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
all right.
I cannot do it.
You cannot.
I have a doctor appointment.
Okay, what about a different time on the day?
I
can. Sorry.
Did you say no, Saren?
I can do after. I can do between 4 and 5.
Oh, I have a meeting then.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. Can you do like 10 in the morning, Saren, or do you have to be out?
I can do 10 o'clock in the morning, but
You
for
can
a
or
very
cannot?
short time.
You can or cannot?
I can at 10, but I have to leave home in about half an hour after that.
9:45.
After, huh?
9:45. Can anybody do that?
What date again? I'm sorry.
17.
Yeah, I can, I guess. Yeah, earlier is better for me.
This is a tentative meeting.
Okay.
In the event that when we look at what they approved, we decide we need to appeal.
Okay.
So there are 3 documents. I will download the files and email them to you. As I'm looking at them quickly, Stavros is listed, but I do not see any other references to Amherst streets. But I will send all 3 files to you.
What are the streets that you see? I mean, why would they have informed us that they approved something
I know.
that
So
didn't involve us?
back to the other document.
Well, we can take this offline and we can do it. Pamela can see if this whole thing didn't really apply to us.
Yeah,
And if it didn't, that would be nice.
right. I I don't think that they do. So they're right. What I'm looking at mostly are access routes around 91, but
Oh, yeah, that's not us.
yeah. So the document, oh, I have to go back.
We have no idea who is requesting this, right?
Well, she told us it was Department of Transportation.
Transportation, yeah.
But
Department of
it apparently,
Transportation. Do we have a Department of Transportation that we could ask?
Yeah, so the project description says, as part of this project, MassDOT has identified curb ramp location in the following cities and towns: Irving, Greenfield, Hatfield, Munson, Orange, Ware, Whately, and Winchendon.
Oh, so,
that form does not pertain to us.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about the other ones?
So I think these are all related to the same project, the 3 documents. When I'm looking at Deerfield Street, because these are the diagrams for those.
Well, Deerfield Street would be in Greenfield, there would be one. But we don't have a Deerfield Street.
Right.
Yeah,
Route
there
5.
definitely is one in Greenfield. I mean, I think it's possible because Stavros was notified, because a lot of those towns are in the Stavros area,
Right.
that whoever was doing it said, well, Stavros is in Amherst, so we better notify the DAC there.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, I think that's probably what happened. And I have to apologize to the committee. I was really very distracted last week because of the situation with my uncle. And so I'm sure you did not get 100% of my brain function.
Well, you know what? Stuff happens, and that's very sad, and we're very sorry. And okay, so if it doesn't pertain to us, then we don't have to be angry about it, which is really good. 'Cause I don't need to be as angry as I was at the beginning of this meeting. I mean, it wasn't good for me. Okay, so where we are is we have a motion that we passed. Pamela can send it to us. Elise and I are going to figure out about Thursday. And we will all go, and hopefully we will all have the courage of our convictions. If we can't do it Thursday, January 9th is the next day we could do it. Is that right?
Okay, but
Yeah.
are we asking that the meeting on Thursday be moved?
I think by 3 o'clock this afternoon, we'll know. Actually, I could even know in a half an hour. David just walked in the door, so I could talk to him. Elise, write to me and let me know if you can do it.
Okay.
We'll see what we can do.
All right.
Because it wasn't their fault, and I don't want to antagonize them any more than I will at the meeting.
Okay.
So the December 17 meeting, we're canceling that about the curb
Oh,
cut?
yeah, we might not need that because it doesn't appear that we needed to be informed about anything that doesn't involve us, right?
Okay.
But the good news is, as a result of us receiving that, we now have a good contact at the MAAB who is looking out for anything related to Amherst to said.
That's true, because you sent her a description of what went wrong the last time.
Yeah.
So she knows that we're not entirely pleased.
Right.
That's good. You're right. Thank you for seeing the good side of this. Okay, I think we're done. So January, we will talk website and we will follow up on this. And maybe 1 or 2 of us can work with who's ever making that intersection. If there is going to be a subcommittee that they are going to put together of people from all of these boards, I don't know who would want to do it, but we should think about that. Because if we're going to have a plan to be involved in an ongoing process, then we need to have people who are going to volunteer to do it. So that's something you need to think about.
And I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to read the many minutes that you had
Oh, God.
The 2 meetings in September, the October and November. Did anyone have a chance to read them?
No,
I didn't
where
either.
are they? They're
I
not-
sent all of the documents to you last week.
Yeah,
That was,
I
okay.
did read some of them. Yeah,
When I looked at them, it looked like it was repeat of the invitation. I couldn't see. It just was like scheduling the meeting sort of a thing. Is it way at the bottom of that?
There are attachments, there
Oh,
are documents.
Okay, so we all need a New Year's resolution. Which is, we need
I
to,
actually saw them and read them.
you did.
Thank
So-
you, please.
Yeah, because at the bottom of that was the thing for the websites too,
Right, exactly.
assignments,
The
yeah.
assignments for the websites were also included.
oh, you're just trying to get on her good side, Elise.
No, I'll tell you though, a couple of them I couldn't even open, but we'll table that till January.
Okay, so the New
Yeah.
Year's resolution for this committee is that we have to read the minutes?
Yes.
And that absolutely includes me also. Elise, Elise does
Well-
not want to be reappointed when we become a commission, which is very sad, and we're all, well, I anyway, I'm very sorry, and I couldn't talk her out of it. We need new people, because we made a 9-person committee, and I even wrote to Paul and I said, can we change it to up to 9? And he said, no,
Right.
you have to have a fixed number. So
Oh, now I feel like shit. I'm sorry.
if
No,
we're gonna
no,
be,
don't.
hey, if that gets you to stay, it works for me.
No,
Um, so if we need to change it to 7 before he makes the plan, we need to do that. And we need new people. So if anybody knows people, especially a parent or a family member, I guess we have family member already. Ian said he is, and I am myself, but
Yeah.
I was hopeful. Anyway, we need people.
So, I actually have been trying to talk to folks as I encounter them.
Yeah.
And at a recent event that this department sponsored, one of the former chairs of the Disability Access Committee, Sarah, and I'm sure you probably would know him if I could recall his name right now. My
Where
flight
does he live?
after, pardon?
Jerry Weiss?
In Amherst?
Yes.
Could
Jerry
it
Weiss,
be
okay.
Dan Greeny?
No, Mr. Weiss, yeah.
Jerry Weiss.
Yeah,
Oh,
my flight
Peter.
didn't arrive until after midnight last night, so I'm a little tired. I approached him to say where the commission was that the committee was gonna be expanding to a commission.
Hmm.
Are there other former members who you might think about reaching out to?
Well, Tori, for sure. I already talked to her. And
Yeah.
hope she said she would think about it.
Well, her husband is also disabled.
Oh,
too.
yeah, we could ask Juan. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We could get maybe one of them.
maybe Juan would be willing to.
Yeah.
go. Oh, that would be okay. And also there are 2 families on my street that have autistic children. And
I know one other person I can ask. She's the principal of, Myra, you know her, Emily.
yes, she's the one of them.
Yeah,
Well, that one isn't autistic. That one is something else. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yes.
she might be a very good candidate if
Yes.
she has the time. That's the thing.
Now, the question that we would also have to ask is, this is a midday time. It really discriminates against
Yeah.
people's work. And I'm wondering if people have any objections to potentially changing the time to one that might be more community friendly.
I'm all for it.
Okay, are there times that would be okay or not okay?
I can move it personally. I can move it to 5 o'clock.
Okay, I couldn't move it to, well, not on the second. Yes, I could. Yeah, second Tuesday I could. Okay, Jim, are you available later in the day ever?
usually. I have no life, so I'm.
Yeah, well, that would be all of us, but we fill it up. Ian,
Myra,
you-
before we get to scheduling, I also just want to throw in that my wife is saying in the background that she is interested in potentially being a commission member. She's both a spouse of a disabled person and would fit that category. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
I don't know if we can have a husband and wife. I don't think there are any rules about that, though. That's an interesting question. All right. Thank you, though. All right.
That's great.
We
actually.
potentially have people, and I will talk to my neighbors. One of them has an autistic child, and one of them has a child with spina bifida. And it might be that either one of them might be interested. So before I talk to Paul and beg to go to 7, even though that's not what we wanted, which I wouldn't want to because I have to eat crow then, but that's okay. I would do it.
I
right.
would, as you're talking to folks and encouraging them, direct them to the town's website so that they can apply.
Good
through
point.
Community, I can't remember the name of the form, but
Activity, community, oh, what is it called? Participation form?
it might be, yeah, participation. I'm not sure.
Might be, okay. All right, but if you can put on your thinking caps and come up with any people that you would want to encourage to apply, that would be really good. Yeah, maybe Juan Dixon would do it. That would be an interesting idea. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I need a motion to adjourn until potentially Thursday. Otherwise, until January 14th.
I do have just a minor point that I want to bring up. So if we want to take action immediately or put it on the agenda for January, but if you remember back in July or August, we had a long discussion with Guilford about the improvements on Belchertown Road and the crosswalk
Yeah.
Colonial Village. I do not see a pedestrian signal there, and I don't know if that was planned, but there certainly isn't one there now. And then after the most recent snowfall, that they plow the sidewalks there, and I believe that's a town thing. And they basically blocked off access to the curb cut by just shoving the snow into the curb cut on both sides. So.
Very important point. Not surprising.
No.
Yeah.
Not remotely surprising.
And also they ditched the pictures you brought not on the on Pleasant Street, but also across from Florence Bank on Route 9. They kind of ditched it, right? There's nothing.
Yeah.
So they did not.
They didn't.
Remember, Guilford said he would fix the sidewalk on the northwest corner there. He did not.
Not that I know of.
Jim?
Do you know, Jim?
No, I mean, just in front of that little mini plaza where Liberty Taxes is, they fixed that. But, I feel like we're sort of doing the job of the Department of Public Works. I mean, they should be looking at these sidewalks. It's crazy. But anyway.
Yes, indeed. That is true. Okay. So several years we wrote a letter in December to the town to talk about crosswalks and stuff and about making sure that they're plowed. I could look at that and see if there's something that we could add to it that has to do with making sure that the plowed snow does not block the crosswalks, which seems like a no-brainer. I don't understand why they would do that. Oh yeah, there was a thing about the town. The town has one of those sidewalk plow, the town has one sidewalk plow and they don't have a backup. And the question is, when the one sidewalk plow goes, then they won't be able to be doing any sidewalk plowing.
Oh, great.
And is this committee going to take a position on that? Should we talk about that? I don't know if we can do that today. It wasn't on the agenda. But should we be taking a position on the sidewalk plow?
Sounds like it. I mean, maybe we can't make a decision until January, but it does sound like we should say something about that.
How did you
Yeah.
find out about it, Myra?
Oh, it was in the newspaper. David saw it. Apparently the sidewalk plow cost $200,000. And they didn't know if they wanted to buy it because it doesn't snow that much. And they have one right now, so this would have been the extra. And doesn't snow that much, and they could spend the 200,000 on sidewalk repair, which who knows if they would. But that was one of the things that they bantered about whether to purchase the new plow. So
Oh,
It
I-
snows just enough.
yeah. I mean,
Come on.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to do that because we are getting into each department's how they prioritize that they replace the equipment they have, or replace it, or fix it. And I would only find that we have grounds if they are in violation of doing something, rather than getting into their business dealings. That's what my feeling is.
well, I mean, it's not a department thing. It's whether or not the town council is going to appropriate $200,000. It's not 20. It's
Oh.
$200,000 to purchase a sidewalk plow that they might not need. They don't have a backup anymore. And so it would be so that they have a backup if something goes wrong with the existing sidewalk plow, because if they don't have one, then they won't be able to be doing any plowing. And what will they do then? And I
We'll
don't
be
know.
stuck.
We will be stuck.
We'll be stuck. I think as an access issue, I think it's important.
Okay. Well, I don't think we can take a vote on it because it's not on our.
Okay.
So we can talk about that. Now, as for Jim's thing, what are we going to do about that? Because it seems awfully simple that you shouldn't be plowing into the curb cuts. It seems awfully simple that you should see a broken piece of sidewalk and figure out that if you're doing work on an intersection,
Yeah.
you go across the street and there's a big mess over there, that you fix
Yeah.
it, right? That's what
Important.
I would think.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that is not what they do. And I think it's possibly because maybe they have third-party contractors, and if you don't contract for it, you can't do it. I don't know how much of that work they do in-house. And that could be the problem, Jim, although he did tell us very specifically in response to your concern about that corner, he said that he couldn't say it would be done before Labor Day, but it was going to be done. He said that. Right? We heard him say it. So I guess we need.
He forgets.
He forgot. I guess we need to, and I guess we need to have Guilford at our next meeting. Okay.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Okay, so I guess we're done until possibly Thursday. I need a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
Okay, and you seconded it? All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
I
I didn't hear everybody. All opposed to adjourning? Didn't hear everybody then either. Well, then it's 3-1, 3-0 at least. All right,
Yeah.
Elise, write to Pamela or write to me and Pamela before, and I'll write to
Okay.
you and Pamela, and we'll figure it out. And
Okay.
assume Thursday night is on, because it looks like both of us might have to work it out.
And again, I apologize for that. I really do.
and we need to know the place they are going to meet.
Well, once it gets posted, we'll know.
Yeah.
Okay,
And what room?
yeah, it gets posted with a location,
Okay.
so we'll
Okay.
know. All right, goodbye, folks.
All
I'm not-
right. Thank you.
at the beginning.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.